Hello and welcome to our podcast on ghosting. Baby, the fact is, ghosting is awkward and we often don't know what the hell to do with it. And this in our sisterhood, especially as we process through good girl conditioning and also the sister wound, it's really important for us to dive into the topics that we feel incredible shame around, and often these are the type of topics that it's easy to be high and mighty about when you're the one being ghosted. But when you are being the one who's doing the ghosting, you have a whole lot of compassion for why. You understand what it looks like, and maybe not exactly why it's happening, but you also get a little pissed off when you think about the idea that someone might be mad at you because you're clearly going through something, right? And so today, what we're going to do, especially when we think about neurodivergence and awkward relationship energy, A R-E. Oh my God, R, that spells something. So awkward relationship energy. Are you going to learn something today? Yes. More importantly, though, it's just reflecting on your own values as we go through the real reasons we ghost and get ghosted. So let's get with it. I will include a PDF in this podcast so that you have something to look at too. I am really super interested in how you learn. So if hearing it and having a PDF doesn't help you and your ADHD in your brain, please let me know because I want to know how to make things feel accessible to you. So let's get talking about ghosting, because honestly, a lot of people like to treat it like some type of moral failure, but it's not about being rude or selfish or even heartless. Sometimes it's legit nervous system. It's ADHD. It's about capacity. And so today we're going to walk through both sides of that, the ghoster, the ghostee, and we're going to give real language to it. We're going to have real nuance, and we're going to remove the shame. How does that feel? Because it feels good to me. So if you've ever disappeared, or you've been the one left hanging in silence, this episode is for you. Let's get started with the ghoster. So this is the person who's doing the ghosting. Maybe you didn't mean to disappear, but you kind of did. And now you're spiraling and you keep telling yourself, I should text back. But instead, your body goes, nope, shut it down. This is too much. I can't. And you avoid it. And then this cycle continues. So let's name it. Here's what actually might be happening. Your nervous system is overloaded. You didn't decide to ghost. You froze. You spiraled. You panicked. You shut down. Maybe without even realizing it. Then time passed, and now the shame is loud. The shame is so loud. Shame. Shame. Where's my bell? Shame. If you watch Game of Thrones. So, does that feel familiar to you at all? The shame so loud, echoing through your mind. Every once in a while, you drift off, and then the panic hits your body, and you really don't know how to come back, so you avoid it more. And now it feels impossible, right? So, if you have ADHD or trauma, let's just throw it in the mix here and go a little deeper. Let me say this very clearly to you. I really want you to hear me because I love you so much. This is really super common. And here's how it shows up if you have ADHD or trauma. Time blindness. We all know about ADHD and time blindness. Sometimes you think it's been 2 days and it's actually been 2 weeks. I keep meaning to get back to that, right? Object permanence. Sometimes it literally just, someone fell off the mental map. A lot of people who have ADHD say, if you're not in front of me, I literally forget about it. That's why you'll see a lot of ADHDers with stacks of things, And so it's the same with people, strangely. If out of sight, out of mind, right? Decision paralysis, right? Okay, so you don't know how to respond, so you just kind of don't. And then when you go to respond and you look at it again, it's not feeling clear and the panic hits. And guess what we do when things feel uncomfortable? Sometimes we avoid them. So it's okay. It's okay. Decision paralysis. So we're noticing maybe some things that are happening. Rejection sensitivity. Your brain says they're mad, right? You're like, shit, they're mad for sure. I should have gotten back to them a long time ago. And so you disappear. first to avoid feeling unwanted. And now you're feeling a little uncomfortable, maybe a lot uncomfortable. Maybe you're feeling dysregulated. Maybe you're feeling like, why do I always do this? Something's wrong with me. And nobody taught you to come back from that, right? So let's reframe it. Instead of I ghosted again, I suck. This is the reframe. We just talked about if you have ADHD, we just talked about what might actually be happening. This is the reframe. Again, instead of I ghosted again, I suck. Try I froze and I didn't have the tools, but I care and I choose to come back and I'm going to come back differently now. Right? Doesn't that feel better? Instead of I suck, I ghosted, I froze. Fuck. I didn't have the tools, but I care. I care and I choose to come back differently now. Okay. Self compassion goes a long way here. Being gentle with yourself. When you say things like, I ghosted, I suck, that can create even more avoidance. So be gentle with yourself and realize that really harsh language is not going to help you. It just isn't. And you may think it does, but I promise you it does not. And if you have harsh language with yourself, shoot me a message. There's a lot we can do. Okay. So we just talked about reframing it. Instead of being hard with yourself, give yourself a little bit of credit. Hey, I froze. It's normal because also things with ADHD, also maybe some things with trauma. And I know a little bit about what that's about: time blindness and object permanence and decision paralysis, rejection sensitivity. There's some reasons, right? I'm understanding my own patterns that have been present before. I'm understanding maybe a little bit more. Information gives us some new ways of approaching ourselves, even so that we can show up in life like we want to show up in life. So, what can you actually say? Here's what repair can sound like in your real life. So, this is you reaching out to the person. I'm sorry I disappeared. I got overwhelmed. Or maybe I care about you and I didn't know how to show up. Or you could even try something like, I didn't mean to hurt you. If that is the case, my silence isn't about you. It was about what I felt like I couldn't handle. I'm sorry, right? Really, the most important thing when it comes to re-entering a conversation with someone that maybe you have harmed. That's the thing that's uncomfortable that I think we sometimes struggle to name is I I hurt somebody and I really just want to avoid him now because I feel like a piece of shit. That's really the energy we we have around it, right? And we also tend to isolate even harder and try to figure this out on our own. And honestly, great connections with people who love and care about you, if you come to them when you're struggling and just say, "Hey, let's this is where I'm at." It's really pretty wild what can happen if you allow for it. And sometimes that rejection sensitivity can keep us in a little bit of a spiral thinking this is just going to be diabolical, which, by the way, catastrophizing, also total ADHD, neurodivergent thing. So when you're assuming the worst, also remember that may also be a part of your brain's typical functions. Like what's available to your brain is to spiral a little. And so just understanding you get to consciously choose what happens with your brain and your life and your relationships. This isn't just automatic and you don't have a choice. So if you want to do differently, you can. And that's why we're talking about it today. And I'm sure why you're here. So you're like, yeah, I know. That's why I'm literally listening. Get off my back. Okay. All right. Let's do this. Right. So you're going to reach out. I gave you some ideas. Maybe send, a TikTok, a little cute video or a little cute meme and say, hey, I've been in a weird place, or whatever the case is for you. Just show up, even imperfectly. Because the longer you stay gone, the heavier the silence gets, not just for you, but the person who's being ghosted. And you deserve connection, even when you're not your best. Can you even believe that? You still deserve love. That's why compassion. If you can give it to yourself, you'll know that you do deserve that. And the people in your life who are great people, yeah, they'll be willing to give it to you. Here's something that you can be prepared for. Someone may feel stung in that moment and they may not respond with, "Oh yeah, no problem. It doesn't matter." They may go, "Yeah, that hurt." Or they may kind of stick the knife in a little bit, right? And they're like, "Okay, thanks." And also, the the fact is we have a whole lot of fears around what might happen if we open up and be vulnerable with people and own our side of it, right? And that's okay. It's really okay to be a little freaked out about the idea of that. Just be prepared that there's 1,000 ways this thing could go. And we often are really good at spiraling on all the worst case scenarios. Imagine the best case scenario. Hold this person in a light of curiosity and kindness and openness. And you might be surprised what happens. Now, if something really weird happens, also just shoot me a message. Like, let's chat about it. You're never alone. You don't ever have to be alone, okay? So let's now talk about the person on the other side, because being ghosted, yes, it hits deep. Also, though, you may be a really super awareness person, a super aware person. And even when you understand the nervous system and how trauma works, it still hurts. Even when you've done your work, even when you know it's not always personal. Hey, my name's Mo. I'm an ADHD coach. And guess what? Silence stings. It effing stings. Even when you are like, yeah, I get it. Damn it, it still hurts. And so this is why, first, I just really want you to know it's okay, right? Your brain wants to fill the gaps and it makes up these stories. Again, the idea of catastrophizing and black and white thinking and worst case scenario. Did I do something wrong? They must not give a shit about me. Or, you know what, maybe I was too much. Or, you start thinking through all the things that maybe you said or maybe you did. And it's all about like pointing at yourself, maybe what you could do differently so people don't reject you, right? These are things that can happen. And most of the time, this is something very important for all of us to keep in mind. Ghosting, I'm just going to pause. Whew. Ghosting says way more about their capacity than your worth. The person who's ghosting you, it says more about their capacity than you and your work. So your worth. So let's break this down. The sting, okay? How do we move through the sting? Number one is feeling it. It's okay to feel it. It doesn't have to mean everything. It doesn't have to. I'm just gonna say, I guess ultimately what I want you to know is you don't have to spiral out about what it means. Just let yourself cry if you feel like crying. Let yourself feel disappointed. Maybe even write yourself a little letter or address it to the person you're feeling this way about. It may seem silly and you may sit there and tell yourself, "Oh, this person's not, you know, it's not going to end my life if they never write me back. It just hurts." That's okay. You could still write a note because it helps. You can really, things don't have to be really hard for you to give yourself tools, right? Let yourself be disappointed. Maybe write them a little message like, "Hey, this really hurts my feelings. I feel very disappointed," or "I was very excited about whatever the thing was," or "I was really looking forward to blah," whatever. We're assuming that they left you hanging, by the way, right? And so just don't let your inner critic hijack the narrative. Ghosting is oftentimes a nervous system thing, and it's not proof that you're unlovable, okay? So, number one, feel it without making it everything. Number two, you do not need their response to get closure. You can close the loop inside yourself. You can do that for yourself. You can close that loop. You do not need their response to get closure. You can go ahead, like I said, write that unsent letter. A lot of times, what I love to do is burn letters that I write that I'm like, no one can ever see this. Like I would never want someone digging through and being like, "Hey, listen, what was this girl's deal?" I actually do have some of those types of things. I'm pretty open with people, knowing what I think about things. So you can literally write the letter, burn it if you want, release it, scream into a pillow. Don't scream into a pillow, just scream out into the air. The primal screaming is super great. Shake your body, shake around, breathe in and out. Again, cry. Maybe put on a song and dance to it. It's You can do this in the way of every time it comes up, you process, or you can literally like give yourself a processing time, like schedule it and say, you know what, I'm ready to let go of this energy in my body, and I'm going to have myself 5 minutes. I'm going to put on a song, and by the time this song is done, I am done with this shit. Whatever it is, I'm moving on. Right? You might even want to give yourself, like, if they do reach out at some point, I would like to engage them in this way, right? So that if it does come out of nowhere, when they do reach back out, you're prepared. And maybe by the time they do, you won't even feel the same way. But sometimes it helps to give you closure, right? So ask yourself this question: they didn't give me closure, but can I give it to myself? And then say to yourself, they didn't give me closure, but I'm going to give it to my body anyway, because this stuff, it's felt in the body. So tap into that power that you have. That is you regulating yourself. That is you healing without waiting. And that's badass. So, number one, how to move through the sting, feel it. Number two, you do not need their response to get closure. Number three, if they do come back, which is just where we left off, you get to say, I care about you, and that silence hurt. Or I'm open to reconnecting, but I need honesty next time. Or I don't need perfect from you, but I do need your presence. You can forgive without self abandoning. A lot of times, oh, it's okay, no problem. No, 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 no. Be ready with how you feel about it. Hey, I'm so glad you reached back out. I gotta say, my feelings were a little hurt. And when you figure out why they ghosted, maybe you could even offer, if you feel willing to continue this relationship, hey, next time that happens, I really want to be here for you. So I'd really like it if you could trust me with that. Is there anything that you need in those moments? Do you want to talk about it? If they're a close friend, just an idea. You can also grieve without closing your heart. I think that can be a little hard for us. Like, sometimes we can, as neurodivergent people, go to those extremes. Fine. If they're not going to get back to me, then fuck them. I'm like, never again. Okay, I'm not even going to watch their stories. I'm giving them the cold shoulder. I'm not going to, if they post some happy thing going on in their life, I am not even going to show up for, and hey, by the way, you're totally allowed to do that, but we both know you're still hanging on to something there, right? Okay. You can grieve without closing your heart. Okay. And so figure out ways that grieving for you can feel good. And if you need ideas, shoot me a message. Are you noticing a theme here? At main character coach, at Mo Holloman on Instagram. I love it. If you want to join Nice Girl Detox, if you're not already a member, that's a really good place to do it, because you don't just get to talk to me, you get to talk to a lot of women who, there's a lot of them smarter than me in there. not that that's some huge shock, but I'm just saying, like, sometimes I'm in the room with people like, damn, should I be leading this? Or, there's a lot of incredible people there. So get ready to be held in that space. So number one, like we talked about, how to move through this thing. Let yourself feel it. Quit denying your body the chance to release. Number two, you do not need their response to get closure. Number three, if they come back, you are allowed to have boundaries. You are always allowed to have boundaries. You want me to say it a little louder for the people in the back? You are allowed to have boundaries. Okay, now let's move into some coaching reframes so you can process this a little different, because we know language, my friend, language is powerful. So instead of saying things like, this person just disappeared, what if instead you said something like, was she in a shame spiral? Was her nervous system shutting down? Instead of, I ghosted, I ruined it, I'm a big, Instead of that, what if you said, I don't have the tools, but I care, and I'm choosing to come back differently now? Really super important in your life to just acknowledge that sometimes you don't have the tools, especially when you freeze up and feel overwhelmed, right? If you don't know what to do, maybe you don't have the tools. If you don't know what to do and you're aware that there are some tools available to you, but you feel too shut down to look at them, maybe it's time to reach out to a person who can help you, truly. Hey, I ghosted a friend. Shit. I need somebody's help. Get advice from a friend, or message me. So I didn't have the tools, but I care and I'm choosing to come back differently, right? That's okay. You're allowed to do that. It's really it helps. It helps you, you know, you think it's gone too far, but I promise you, if you can do a little bit of a reframe and re-engage this person, re-enter the conversation, it's going to go a long way. So, what do we actually need in ghosting? If you're the ghoster, what do we need? If you're the ghostee, what do we need? Let's make this really super practical. So, we need usually four things: repair language, self check ins, imperfect entry, re entry, and a culture shift. So, let's talk about number one in a practical way. What do we actually need for ghosting, no matter who's on what side? The repair language. Again, I'm sorry I disappeared. I got overwhelmed. I did not know how to respond, but I care about you. The self check ins. Ask yourself, is this a boundary or am I avoiding this because I'm scared or something else? So, self check ins. What's going on here with me? Now, this is for you if you're the ghostee or if you're the ghoster. What's going on here? What am I feeling? That's literally how you can start this with yourself if you want to explore what's happening in my body, what's happening in my thoughts. Number three, imperfect reentry. A lot of times we sit and spiral thinking, I got to come up with a perfect way to do it. Honestly, nobody cares if it's perfect. It hurts way too much to be like, they're just going to be so glad you reached out. Oh, thank God, you know? So just send the text, send the meme. Hey, I miss you. I'm sorry. Let's normalize coming back without shame. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to, you know, show up in a way that isn't in alignment with your values, so long as you realize it and you're willing to, number one, be accountable, and not because we want to have some type of authoritarian energy around you. It's just like that's how you grow. It's like self accountability. I realize I'm not showing up in a way that I feel good about, and I want to own that. And sometimes it can feel awkward to face the music. I also hate that phrase, and I can't believe I just said it. Because again, I also have authoritarian issues. I'm like, face what music? I don't know you anything. But honestly, it's like it's been awkward in my life, the times that I have had the conversations with people I've hurt, to say, I know I hurt you. Or I hope I didn't hurt you. Did I? I'm sorry that you know what? Even if you don't think it's a big deal, I need you to know that it's a big deal to me. And I didn't show up for you in a way that feels good to me. And as your friend, I want to be better. As your whatever, I want to be better. It's important to me, you know, so don't let me off the hook. If that's what you want. I say those types of things too. So just normalize coming back. It's seriously like, hey, maybe that person, it was too hard for them and the relationship was not what you thought it was too. And that can happen. But now you know. And if you're on the other side of that and you need support, Nice Girl Detox. Come hang out with some sisters who are going to help greet you with loving open arms, and you can heal from it, right? And we can shift. So the fourth really is the culture shift. Stop punishing people for struggling. It's hard out there. I don't know if you've been out there. I know you have. It's weird and it's hard. So let's stop punishing people for struggling, and let's stop ghosting ourselves when things get messy, because you don't just ghost the person you're ghosting yourself. It's self-abandon, even though you think it's self-protection. I got this from Ace Kipton. I loved that line. It's self-abandon and self-protection at the same time. A lot of things can exist at the same time. So stop ghosting yourself when things get messy. The world is messy. It's okay to be imperfect. And let's model repair. The more we tell these stories about times that we were willing to recognize that we're not showing up in a way that's in alignment with who we want to be, who we know ourselves to be, the more that we acknowledge that, number one, first to ourselves, and then share that story with the world, now more people have the language for what to do. I mean, gosh, I can't even tell you how many times that that every time I've had a coach ever, every time I've ever had a coach or a brilliant friend, or just, literally in Nice Girl Detox, we just had a call last night. Um, so many things shared there that I'm like, wow, I've literally never heard that. When we get together and we tell our stories, we all heal. It's collective remembering, it's collective healing. And that's what this sisterhood's all about. You're not broken if you've ghosted. You're not unworthy if you've been ghosted. You are human, and we're all learning. And this conversation right here, this is how we build ourselves better, with more knowledge, with more information, owning the parts of us that have been imperfect. So whether you're spiraling about the text you haven't sent or hurting over a person that never came, just take a breath with me. Big breath in. I like to do that when I'm really feeling the feelings like blah. Breathe out and come back to your body. And I really want you to know this. It's not too late to connect with them or to yourself. I'm going to be adding a PDF to this so you can play around with this on your own. If you have thoughts, feelings, additions, concerns, questions, if you feel like I'm missing something, I really want to hear about it. Okay, I'm going to put a PDF at the I was about to say at the end of this, but I guess wherever I post this. I haven't really decided. This is kind of on a whim, so I'm going to post this, and there will be a PDF, and I hope that you find it. If this is on a podcast platform, I think I can link it, so I'll probably be linking it below, and I will absolutely be sharing it in Nice Girl Detox. My Instagram. I'm thinking through this on the fly. Okay, so like this was really not thought through before I started recording this. Shoot me a message on either Instagram or Facebook. I will send this to you. I'm just happy to give you whatever you need around this. The deal is this: if you are willing to grow in ghosting, maybe that's a way to put it. Let me know, because I really want you to. I think it's going to make a big difference. It's going to be big. It's going to be huge. Anyway, I'm going to go. I'm getting a little slap happy now. So much love to you. Thank you so much for listening. If this podcast was helpful to you, then I'd love it if you'd share it, especially because this is how we repair in the community. So, honestly, even if we've all experienced ghosting, let me put it that way. You don't have to know a friend who's been ghosted. If you have a friend, they've been ghosted somehow. Okay. So you could even send it. Hey, you want a script? Hey, check out this podcast about ghosting. It's really good. I've been a ghoster. Have you? Have you been ghosted? Yikes. It sucks. You should listen to this podcast. That's what I would do. Um, if you want to be real sassy, send it to the person who ghosted you. I'm just kidding. No, let's not cause chaos. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. Anyway, but you could post it. You could say, this is really good. Maybe they'll find it. Anyway, all right. That's it for me. Have a beautiful day. I'm here if you need anything at all. Sending you so much love and support as per usual.